Hey everyone, welcome back to new series of Python. In today's video, we are going to discuss about what are variables. So variables are one of the terms that is commonly used whenever we talk about the programming language. So variables are nothing but that are the names given for a storage space. Let's say x is equal to 5 and let's consider the storage space as a container. And the value 5 will be stored in this container, and the name of the container is simply known as the variable. So we can just know variable means varying something. Yes, of course, we can just change the name of a variable. And we cannot just declare a variable anywhere. Instead, a variable is only created at the time of assigning value into a variable. Now let's see how can we manage the variables in Python. For that, first we just need to open our IDE, which is PyCharm. So for that, let's move on to the PyCharm over here, and we have to just create a file in order to manage with the program. So first, I'll show you how to create a file. To create the file, here you can see a directory which is already created for the Python tutorials. So click on there with the right button, and here you can see a new way you can just create a file. So here we can easily create a Python file. So here you can just choose a Python file over here, and you can just provide the name of the file as variable, because here we are just dealing with variable. And let's click on enter so that the file will be now created. Now let me just create a value over here, which means that is the variable, and I'm just going to give the variable name as ABC, and let me run the file. So as I just run the file, here you can see that we just get an error over here because we haven't defined any variables over here. We know a variable cannot be declared anywhere in the Python. Instead, a variable is only created when we just assign the value. So at the moment of assigning the value to the variable, at that time only a variable is created. Now let me say ABC is equal to 5, and now here you can see that the error has just gone, and we can just print the value of this variable. So in order to get the value of this variable, we can just use the print function, and that would give the result over here, which means the container name is ABC and the container has just scored the value of 5, and we just need to see the value inside the container. So in order to view the value inside the container, you can just use the print function, and let's give the variable name, which is ABC, and here you can just run the file. So as you just run the file, here you can see that this container or the variable has got the value 5. So from this we can say that ABC is equal to 5, and ABC is the name of the container, and this container has just got a value of 5, and that value will be stored inside the container. Now we can just convert the variable type from one to another, and that process is known as casting. So in order to do casting, we can see how that can be managed in Python. So here you can see that ABC is equal to 5, which is integer type, and the variable can get different types of value. That can be an integer, float, or string. And you can also just convert the values from one form to another. So as we discussed, that is known as casting. And here I just need to change the value into float. Currently the value over here is integer, and I just want to change the value into float. So in order to change the value into float, here you can see ABC is equal to already 5, and I'll be using the keyword float, and let's put a bracket over here. And as you just give the bracket over here and click on the run button, you can see the integer has just turned into float. How cool is that? So Python provides a lot more magic that you can just deal with while writing the code. So here, the another thing that we're gonna discuss is about commenting. So comments are nothing but that are used for making the code more readable. So if you want to just comment the code, you can just use the hash symbol. So if you just need only to give a single line comment, then you can just use hash, or if you want to just comment multiple lines, then you can use triple, single quotes or double quotes. And I'll show you how can be just managed with the comments in Python. So you can just select the piece of code that you want to comment and click on Shift hash symbol, and here you would be able to find that currently we have just commented a particular piece of code over here. Now let me say like I am just going to give certain things over here randomly, and this has got multiple lines. I just need to comment this multiple line. So you can just select the multiple lines that you want to just comment, and you can provide the triple quotes that can be either a single quote or double quote, but the number of quotes, that is the triple quotes in the LHS and RHS must be same. That is a single quote and double quote that you are giving, and see how we are just going to manage. So as I just select the multiple lines over here and provide the triple single quotes, you can see that these lines has just turned into comments in Python. So the peculiarities of using comments are it explains the code and it also prevents the code from execution while testing. Now the other thing that we're going to discuss in Python is about getting the type of a variable. So here let's say let me just give x is equal to 10, and I just need to give multiple variables over here, and let's say a is equal to fibrosis, and we can also use another variable and let it be b is equal to 5.1. I just need to know the type of these variables. So it is easy to get the type of these variables. So for that, we can just use the print function. So let me give the print function, and you can just use the keyword type in order to get the type of the variable, and you can just provide the variable name. So in order to know the variable type of 10, you can just give the command as, not the command, the code as print type x, and now let me use the same thing to get the type of fibrosis as well as 5.1. I just need to know all the type of these values. So let's click on enter and let's change the variable name into a, then later on let's paste the code over here, and let's change the x to b because we just need to get everything with a single execution. Now let me just click on run, and here you can see that you will get the type over here, which is cool, right? And you can find any type of the variable in Python. Variable names. So while naming a variable, it can be a short name such as single alphabets like A, B, C, or Z, X, Y, and so on. Or the name of the variable can be also descriptive, like it can be a name with a bit more length and all, such as car name or volume or so on. But while naming a variable, we have to follow certain rules, which means a variable name can only start with a character like alphabet or underscore. It cannot be start with a keyword that is given in Python. And we can only use alphanumeric characters while writing a variable. We cannot use any special symbols or white space while writing the variables. And a variable name should not start with numbers. And a variable name is case sensitive, which means let's consider a word called age. So if I'm writing age in small letter and age in capital letter, and another word age with a mixture of capital letter and small letter, then all these three words will be treated as separate variables in Python. So we can just find some of the legal representation and illegal representation of variables in Python. So for that, here I'll show you some examples. Before that, let me just comment all these lines. So just comment it as this is a multi-line comment. You can just use triple single quotes or double quotes. So let me just comment this section, and let's find some of the legal representation of the variable. So here, let's click on enter, and yeah, let's say the variable start with underscore, like my variable. This is one of the legal representation. Let's say it as 10, and we can just give the name like my, like starting with an underscore. And if you want to just use multiple words in a variable, you can use the underscore again in order to just consider that word or treat the multiple word as a single variable. So my var is equal to 10 again, and here let's say the other thing as age is equal to 5. So if I'm again giving another variable with the name age itself, here you can see this will be treated as separate. And here now again you can just go like this variable cannot be a keyword that is used in Python. And here the other thing that we can just consider is alphanumeric. So let me say age 10 equal to 6. Then these are some of the legal representation of using the variables in Python. Now let's find some of the illegal representation of variables. So we know a keyword should not be a variable. So we know type is a keyword which is used in Python. So as you just give the type as a name, here you can see that Python will automatically suggest, because that is one of the keyword that is used in Python. So you should not use this as the variable name. So that is not the legal way of representing the variable. Now the other thing is that we just need to consider is that a variable should not start with a number. So if I am just giving to my var is equal to 5, this is not the right way of choosing the variable or naming the variable. And a variable should not be a mixture of special characters as well as the white space. So if I'm just giving like my var equal to 8, these are the illegal representation. And here you can find that we are just getting errors or warnings over here, and Python will show us the thing that we are writing over here is correct or not by an indication over here. Now the other illegal representation is that, let me use some special symbols over here and writing the variable name. So this is not considered in Python. Okay, so while naming a variable, you have to consider the rules of writing the variables. Assign multiple values into Python variable. So Python let you to assign multiple values into multiple variables single time. Here you just need to ensure that the variables, that is the number of variables that is used, matches with the values that you have provided. If there is any mismatch, then Python will just raise an error. So let's say different variables such as x, y, z, that is equal to different values such as apple. Then you can just give a comma, and let's say as orange the other value. And now let me also add one more value, and here you can see we are just going to add the value as banana, and we just need to give the quotes over here, and later on we can just print this. So in order to print, you can just give like print x, then print y, and later on print z. And you can just run the file over here. So as you just run the file here, you can see that we can just give multiple variables and multiple values in single line in Python. Now let me change the value over here into 4 and see what happens when the number of variables and number of values does not match. So we know it would raise an error. So let me give the value as grape and let's run the file. So as you just run the file here, you can see that you will get a value error, like too many values to unpack. So we cannot just do that. Now we can also just assign multiple values into single variable and all, which means not multiple values, a single value into multiple variable. So let's say x is equal to y is equal to z is equal to z is equal to apple. So I will print x, y, z separately and I'll be getting the result for each of the variable. So here you can see x, then print y, later on we can just print z, and let's execute the file right now. So as you just execute here, you can see that we can just assign a single value into multiple variable and that is displayed over here. Unpack the collections. So if you have multiple values in a list, tuple or in a dictionary, you can extract these values into particular variables. So let's see how can we just manage the unpacking in Python. So let's consider a list over here. So let me just give the name of the list as fruits, and here you can just provide the values. So let's consider a list. For that, the value of the list will be having apple, then later on it has got some other values also like orange. Then we have banana. And now I just need to extract these values into a particular variable. So the extraction is known as unpacking. So currently this is packed and we just need to unpack. So in order to unpack, let me consider different variables. So let's say the different variables as x, y and z. X, then y and z. And we can just assign this list into these variables. So let's give the name of the list over here. And now let's print these variables and you can find the result. So let me print x, then print y, later on we can also print z, and and let's run the file and you can see we have just unpacked the item. Now let's say that we have more number of values than that of the variables. So in such cases, if the variables and values doesn't match, we know Python would always create the value error there. Now let me consider one more variable over here. Let it be cherry, and let's consider one more. Let it be grapes, and let's run the file. So as I just run the file here, you can see that obviously we will get the value error, which means we have too many values to unpack. So in order to unpack this issue, we can just use the asterisk symbol. So you can just use the asterisk symbol for a particular variable, and the values will be listed and you can find the result. So I'll be giving the asterisk symbol for z, and you can see that as we just run the file, the value for the variable z will be considered as a list of values like banana, cherry and grape. Now let me just change it into y, which means I just need to list the values for y variable, and you can just run that, and you can see that apple is the first value in the fruits, and that will be assigned to the variable x, and the second value is orange. From there till cherry, the values will be listed and assigned to the variable y. And you cannot just use double asterisks over here. So if you want to just assign the values to multiple variables, like then you will be getting an error over here. So let me just give asterisk for is it also and just run the file. And here you can see that multiple starred expression in the assignment. So we cannot just validate that. So this is how we just manage with the unpacking of values in Python. Python output variable. The print function is considered as a output variable, and here let's consider x as a variable and let's provide Python is awesome for that variable. So x is equal to Python is awesome or Cypress is awesome. You can just provide over here. Now, yeah, here we have just got a spelling mistake. So let's correct that. And later on, we can just print this. So here you will get the result that is Python is awesome. And here you can find that. So let's execute this file and you can find the result over here. Now, we can also just give multiple values for these variables and print these multiple values in the print function. So let's see that. So let's say x is equal to Python and y is equal to is. So this is a keyword there. We have to just give the double quotes and only that will be treated as a string. So is and is it is equal to awesome. So here you can just provide the word. Later on, we just need to print everything. So I'll be providing the print functions in single line itself. So let me just separate these variables with a comma. And here you can see that we can just run the file and you will get the result over here. Yeah. And here you can see that we have just currently separated it with commas and we have just got the result over there. Now, we can also just combine those words or variables using the plus operator. So instead of using commas, you can also just use the plus operator. And even if you just use the plus operator over here, you will get the same result. Now, let's click on run variable file and here you can see that currently you have got the result over here, but the thing is that that has just combined everything. Now in order to give a space over there with Python, and we have to just give a space, then is a space again, and then awesome. Likewise, we just need to get the out. So here you can just consider a space in every word and you can just run the file. So let me run the file and here you can see now we have just got the actual result that we want. Now in case of numbers, if you would just try to combine different numbers using the plus operator, then Python will treat that plus character as a mathematical operator. So let's see, I'm just going to give x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 5. And now let me just combine this and you can see how we are just going to get the result. And you can see that Python will treat this as different values or mathematical expressions. We can also just combine different types of variables and get the result. Let's say x is equal to a string, which is Cypress, and y is equal to an integer. And you can just get the result. Like you can just give it as a print x comma y, and as you just run the file here, you will be getting the result without any error. Here you can see that, and if you want to just change the comma into the plus operator, then also you will be getting the result. And it's done. And the final thing that we're going to just discuss about the variables is global variables. So global variables are declared outside a function. It can be also used inside a function, and the global variables will be discussed at the time of discussing the functions in Python. So I hope the concept of variables in Python is cleared in this video. So if you have any doubts, you can just give the comments, and if you want to know more things about variables, feel free to contact Cybroses. And I hope this video clarifies your doubt on Python. So thank you for watching. As always, stay awesome.